Everybody, welcome in. I am WCA3 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty. I'm joined with Seth Bohnhoff in the studio and Meteorologist Jacob Dickey, who is in the StormTracker. We're going to come on here and give you a little bit of an update to a tornado-warned storm that is technically just kind of outside of our area, but it's close, okay? So that's Effingham County up here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch on so you can kind of see what things look like in terms of the radar view there. But essentially, we've got a possible tornado here down into Clay County, okay? So Effingham County is right up here, and you've got Clay County here, the Louisville and Flora area, a very intense cell, and it is showing extreme signs of rotation. If you have any friends or family that live down in Clay County, Louisville to Flora, they need to be taking shelter immediately down that way. What we have here is most likely a tornado developing there. There's a lowering. That's meteorologist Jacob Dickey's shot. He can see the storm. He's in perfect vantage point down there to kind of show us that storm, and it on radar is looking very impressive. A very classic kind of look to it, and there's that clear lowering. So let's go ahead and try to bring in Jacob now, and we will have Jacob let us know what he is seeing in his area.
Hey, Kevin, about halfway between Flora and Louisville here, looking off to my left, and a lot of rising motion in the clouds here. It's kind of hard for me to get a good vantage of whether there's rotation, but this is the spot of the storm where there is certainly some rotation involved here. And I'm going to get to the other side of this bridge and stop and take a look back to the west here. Even if the tornado isn't in progress at this point, I think there's going to be a lot of wind with this storm here as it comes on through. There's a lot of lightning as well, and so we're going to be in a really interesting position here for a bit. As I get to the other side, just across the bridge, you get a little more view. I'm going to show you a little bit more in front of me as well. This is going to be coming towards Flora, and you can see the front edge of that rain, how it's pushing out, a sign of some really strong winds here. The likelihood of a tornado is actually going to be just to my right. This is looking to the south, and so we're going to kind of take a peek here in a second. I don't particularly care for being on this road, so what I might do is take a left to go east, and that way I can avoid these power lines here in case of any wind. But you can see right over here, in fact, there is some sort of facility. Y'all see the lights over there? So the rain, about a mile to my west, this storm moving 60 miles an hour, Kevin. Look at how fast that's moving. So I'm going to take a left here to go east a little bit, and I'm going to stop and let the storm overtake me. I mean, it is moving so quick here. That's very impressive to see. So bear with me for a second so I can get to a spot there. I don't have to deal with any power lines or anything. Let's see what the rear camera looks like while I'm going to the east here. Probably not going to show as good of a view, but man, this is an intense storm, Kevin.
Thanks a lot, Jacob. I appreciate it there. We're going to let you reposition there. You can see the story.
It's a lot of stuff on the southern edge. Like, this is as far as we cover, and there's something right here right now. Enough for a live stream, but
in that area, Clay County.
I got the time regular.
So we want to combine it. We also just got a brand new severe thunderstorm warning for Effingham County with this storm. So this storm now going to be coming into Effingham here. Strong storm that is coming into Watson and Mason. That is a severe thunderstorm warning, but there is definite rotation on our storm that is down here into Clay County, and it is absolutely rotating. It's spinning really good. I think this thing is going to be a tornado possibly right smack dab in between Louisville and Flora, maybe a little bit closer to Flora now is what we are seeing. There is very, very strong rotation on this just to the north and west of Flora on 45. It's going to be really, really close there. We are monitoring things here closely with this, but it looks like that there is definite rotation. Possible tornado here in Clay County, again, between Louisville and Flora is what we're looking at, and it shows up on radar pretty evidently. I'm going to even look at some of the velocity here with the rotation. And so you're going to have your tornado right about here. Okay, so rotation is here. This is Louisville, Flora, 45. And so here it is, probably getting ready to cross over. And we are seeing some of the views there from Jacob's camera. It's really dark. It's hard to see. Wow, it is so dark there right now. That storm passing right there, right in front of Jacob there on his camera. You can see that bit of a lowering that's right there. He is looking at the storm there, the lightning lighting up. That's a real good view of it, as you can see. There's something in there. Could even be partially rain wrapped a little bit. But you're looking at the view right now from the StormTracker just to the north of Flora in Clay County. All right, Jacob, go ahead.
Hey, Kevin, a lot of rising motion right in front of me here where I'm looking at, this is a windy storm too. The StormTracker is rocking. Wow. Look at the trees in front here. I'll zoom in for you a little bit. You can see how, whoa. Okay, we're getting some really big wind gusts right here. Wow, the vehicle's sliding, Kevin. I'm sliding a little bit. I'm keeping my foot on the brake here. Can you hear that wind at all? That circulation's going to be right over me here at this point.
Yeah, it's right there. It's pretty much, it's right there. You that thing, that is a strong storm right there. You need to definitely be careful in your location and where you are there.
Yeah, the cloud base is.
We're watching it there. That storm right near north of Flora. Definite rotation on that. Very strong storm. Tornadic circulation. If you know anybody that lives in Flora, between Louisville and Flora, and even we'll say kind of down the line, like Sather Springs, this is a really strong storm. And we will check back with Jacob here in just a little bit. I mean, he is in that location. It's literally passing right in front of him. That storm is right there. So that's his view. Super dark. You see all of the lightning. And boy, that is quite the circulation. Look at, you can see the wind coming right at him. Wow, Seth, that's intense.
That is not the kind of stuff that he's just riding out, smiling and waving along. Yeah, that's the stuff that we were afraid could happen with this stuff. Those 70-mile-an-hour winds, the tornado threat always gets people's attention, but this is what you have to ride out when you get 70-mile-an-hour gusts. I mean, he can't move. He literally just has to probably sit this one here for just a little bit of time as those gusts just take control. You try driving in that, and you're just going to go swerving all over the place. So that is definitely along with the tornado possible threat, those strong winds, those are some pretty scary things to have to drive through.
Flora is getting some really strong winds. Even the circulation is just north of Flora, but there are some really strong winds in Flora right now. The radar, which is shooting up at about 3,000 feet, is showing about 85-mile-an-hour winds just off of the surface there. That looks like a little bit of hail. Is that, I couldn't tell, was that some hail? I can't tell if it's hail or just rain.
Sure looks
raindrops, or it could be just so strong. Jacob's trying to show us some of that there. Yeah, I think that's some hail.
Tiny pebbles, yeah.
I think there's some hail in there for sure. Look at that. So the tornadic circulation there, going to be passing right north of Flora to Louisville, and you're looking at it. All right, let's see if let's bring Jacob back in. Jacob, how you doing?
Hey, We're doing good. Just got another tornado warning on my phone for Clay and Richland County here. I tell you what, some of the wind, the way it felt, reminded me of that storm last summer that we had in Central, just how intense that wind was, rocking the vehicle there. And those rain curtains, too, they're still pushing on through. So this is an intense storm. I'm pretty impressed with it overall here. It looks like to me that circulation would be very close, if not just south. I think Florida's getting a lot of wind. I got to say the northern part of the county, too, to me, up towards Bible Grove and Horde, probably getting some intense wind up there. But interesting little signature. And the wind that we've got coming in here, probably just to my north, even up by Louisville. I imagine there's some hail mixing in there, so that's not going to be fun if that comes here. But we're in a safe spot. We're doing good. It was pretty intense there for a bit. It's let up a little bit, but there's a lot of rain, a lot of lightning. So that's right. We're going to sit this one out, not too much movement until the storm passes, and then we'll probably drop down to Florida to see if there's any damage, anything like that. I used to be able to see lights to my west down the road here. I don't see them anymore. It could be a combination of the wind is so strong, the rain's blowing, but I'm guessing there's probably going to be some power outages with what's happened. Also, I'm hearing some reports out of Salem of some intense winds there, Kevin. Just seeing a message came in. Trees down, power lines down in that area, which is not surprising given this wind that's coming on through. So probably Florida now, really getting rocked. And then off to the east, then this is heading towards Albany. And the storm itself, even if you don't get the tornado potential, Kevin, the wind is going to be pretty ferocious with this as well. Kevin, that's what I got out here. We're going to sit here for a little while, and then we'll start to make our way back towards 45 and see what's going on. So with that, back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jacob. That's his view, the circulation that he had. It's crazy how dark his camera got, too, in that storm. That thing was pitch dark.
Turned to nighttime.
Oh, it looked like it turned to nighttime down there. That's for sure. Okay, so Jacob is good. Yeah, I just saw a report of 65 mile per hour wind gusts that came through down in Xenia. So that's right here at the bottom part of your screen. They just had 65 mile per hour gusts when the storm came through down there. So there's Xenia, and then also back towards Salem where they had some of that damage, it looks like, in Salem. So we've got this new tornado warning in effect for the rest of Clay and Richland counties. Still, Clay City, if you're in Clay City, if you know anybody that lives down near Clay City, definitely, hopefully they are taking shelter because that tornadic circulation is going to be between Clay City and Sailor Springs. Okay, so right here, we've got that circulation with this. And still a really intense storm that continues to deliver down there. If you're in Clay City, that rotation now is going to be on the northwest side of town. Interesting. I'm going to wait and let the radar. There could be a TDS there, potentially. Tornado debris signature, possibly with that. Let me try to pull this up. That might be a tornado debris signature just northwest of Clay City, northeast of Flora. I'm trying to see if that kind of lines up or not. Let me try to pull up here another one of our radar features. I'm going to take this full. And so what we're looking at essentially, sorry about that. So we've got the reflectivity here, it's close, but it might not be fully lined up. But it is in a pretty good area there where you might have a debris signature. So something for us to keep an eye on with that. That would be just northeast of literally where Jacob's location was. He was saying that he couldn't see lights anymore, so there might have been some power outages due to that storm that's down there. I want to show our folks here in Effingham here, Seth. You're familiar with that area down there.
Oh yeah.
Our folks down there, they're getting rocked pretty good in Effingham right now.
Yeah, that one pretty much right in the heart of Effingham County right now. Been kind of keeping an eye on it. There's been slight indication of circulation on that storm every now and then. Last game kind of brought it down just a little bit. But yeah, the view here on the Effingham sky cam just a moment ago looked pretty good there for just a moment. Things got a little turbulent. Now we got a lot of rain in the picture, and we are kind of just getting a little bit of a hazy view, so we're not really seeing much structure from this tower cam right now. But we do have probably some super heavy rain there at the moment, and probably some maybe 65-mile-an-hour gusts on the southern end of this one, and some pretty good lightning there, as you can see from the sky cam as well. Just kind of want to bring in my velocity image here real quickly and just kind of show where some of those stronger winds might be located at here on this one. Again, kind of down here in the southern end of Effingham County, right outside the Watson area. It looks like we could be having some pretty strong winds in there as well. So also watching for that down in southern Effingham County. We'll get my picture brought up here real quick, and we'll show that. There's your your strongest winds. Maybe a hint of circulation there as well. You see the bright greens meet kind of the darker reds there just right outside of Watson. And again, you start to see kind of that whitish color. That's probably closer to your 60 or 65-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So really watching that in the southern half of Effingham County, which might be on the edge of our area. But Kevin, I've got a lot of folks down there who are definitely interested in watching how this is going down right now. So keeping close tabs on that, as well as that stuff down in Clay County as well, because we've got quite a bit of action going on here. Thankfully, it's not into the heart of the area, but we have got some stuff here to certainly watch. And I'll go ahead and toss on my reflectivity image there and just kind of put it in motion just a little bit. There's that stuff moving on through Effingham County right now, particularly the southern half of the county, probably getting hit by some pretty strong wind gusts, as well as probably some pretty heavy rain in there as well. So just kind of hunker down, be prepared for some severe thunderstorm-like conditions here over the next 30 minutes or so in Effingham County. And keep in mind, this one is also tagged for possible tornado there. So we'll continue to monitor that and see if we get anything farther on that. If there is anything, it's going to be in the far south part of the county. Again, kind of closer to Watson and Mason and places like that. So we'll continue to keep an eye on this one, but probably the stronger of the two down there in Clay County right now, Kevin, even if it's outside the area. That stuff down to the south looking pretty impressive here throughout the evening.
Yes, indeed. It really is. The storm is definitely packing a punch. The severe weather threat does exist here over the next half an hour to an hour or so. We are carefully monitoring this. Again, Effingham County. So we've had some people kind of asking, hey, why aren't you guys on TV? So we're technically, our viewing area kind of ends there in Effingham County. We were kind of jumping onto Clay County. Jacob was down there. The Clay County is technically kind of the St. Louis television market, maybe Terre Haute there. It's kind of that no man's land area. So we wanted to come on there because that storm did look pretty good. Jacob was right down there showing us some good pictures of it. But we only cut in here for tornado warnings, obviously in our viewing area, as to not completely interrupt and blow out television programs just because we're judicious about that, and we do it when it's our area. When it's not and it's close, we'll still come on here and do like what we're doing right now with the online version of this. Let's go over to Jacob right now. Jacob, back to you. What do you got?
Hey, Kevin, heading east on 50 now from Flora. And when I was dropping south, I was about 2 miles north of 50. To give you an idea, that circulation was right by me here. The clouds were moving really quick and very close to the ground. As I dropped to the south, I started to see some tree damage. There also was some power outages. The traffic lights were out. It's the 408 stoplight at stop sign flashing red light at the 45-50 interchange. That was out of power, and some of the neighboring houses that are out of power. It looks like a lot of Flora itself has power. I did notice also about a half a mile to the west of the Walmart in Flora, looked like a barn or a metal outbuilding of some sort. It was hard to see. The door did not look right. It looked like it may have been blown in and some wind damage there. So we've pretty much primarily seen trees down, and we've had some tree branches down, but nothing significant at this point. But just wanted to let you know I am heading out east on 50. I should be in Clay City here in about 5 minutes from now. In the StormTracker, I will send it back to you.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jacob. Appreciate it. So there we go. Still tracking our storms here. Effingham, it's coming down pretty good. Continuing to storm, heading over there towards Seth territory and Diedrich, coming right there. Elliottstown and Lucas. Finding that. We go south there, and where Jacob is again located. So he is between Florida and Clay City. So he's reporting down here into Clay County down that way. So they've got the tornado warning that continues there for Clay City going east. So that's going to eventually go towards the Noble and Olney area. You know anybody and friends or family that live down towards Noble and Olney?
I do. I have a friend actually. Gephardt's his last name. I actually have been kind of keeping him in the loop on this stuff because I knew farther south would be where kind of the greater concern was. So I told him the second that thing was in Clay County to kind of get ready, and that warning does include Olney right now. So Cody, if you're listening, I've been texting you a little bit here. Just make sure you are getting down to cover there, because that could very well be heading right your direction soon, as well as anyone else kind of watching in that area too. I'm sure we have just a couple of followers of mine that are in that area. So yeah, definitely hunker down and be prepared for that, because that is it's a pretty good storm, as we've seen from Jacob's point of view there. So definitely want to take some shelter, even if there's no tornado. Those winds are some serious business.
So that rotation literally is going to be coming into Noble right now. So just looking at this right there near Noble, coming right into the town of Noble. This right here is the rotation right there along Highway 50. And then again, you've got Olney down the line. Again, this is technically not our viewing area. We're still just kind of doing a service to jump on. We know we have some people that maybe are just outside of our viewing area. So if you're watching us down into portions of, Clay or Richland County, we just wanted to jump on here and kind of let you guys know what we're seeing. There's still an intense storm.
And it's getting really dark in Effingham, too. We saw how dark it was on Jacob's image there when he's in the heart of that storm earlier. This thing looking almost nighttime, too. And it's not quite that time of the night just yet. It's still pretty light out here where it's a little clearer in Champaign, but that is about as dark as it can get. So definitely just loads of rain falling down in Effingham at the very least. And yeah, that wind threat's probably up there, too. Maybe not as high as the Clay County one, but it's going to get a little intense there in Effingham for a little bit, so just hunker down if you're in the Effingham County area there, as a pretty impressive storm is moving on through, and we'll kind of continue to watch out for both of those storms as we continue on a little bit here. But yeah, it is about pitch black there on our camera placed atop the St. Anthony camera, or atop the St. Anthony Hospital there. So that's what we're watching. We'll bring up the radar picture here again and just kind of illustrate the two storms that we're mainly watching, one technically in the area, one outside the area. There's that one in the Effingham County region. Again, plenty of heavy rain right now, just pretty much in the southeast corner, kind of Watson, Lucas, even into my hometown Diedrich area there. Things are probably going down a little bit as far as the rain is concerned. It's coming down in buckets for sure. And of course, still watching this stuff off to our south and east now, on its way more into Richland County by now. Well, again, we'll pop up the velocity pictures here. That's kind of what it looks like in southeastern Effingham County. Again, you can kind of see some indications of rotation there, but nothing completely convincing us that there is any sort of tornadic activity just yet there, as opposed to this thing exiting Clay County on its way into Richland County, which kind of put stuff in motion here just so you can kind of see where that circulation's heading, kind of heading right down Route 50 there on its way closer to Noble and eventually into the Olney area. So yeah, definitely make sure that you are getting in your tornado safe spot right now as that thing continues to progress its way that direction. And even though the radar coverage is a little spotty in this area, still doing a good enough job there of kind of giving us the indication where some of this might be. And eventually we are going to have some problems over there in Jasper County as well, as we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that is now posted out that direction as well. This one is going to be warned for 70-mile-an-hour gusts potentially, so heading into the Newton area, possibly 70-mile-an-hour gusts. So that is what we're watching here as that one rolls on in. So be prepared for the wind threat. I've got Dad texting me here, says gusts probably close to 40 miles an hour there in Diedrich, so kind of avoiding it for the most part in the northern part of the county. But yeah, some pretty strong winds are getting ready to head on into the Jasper County area, especially down here to the southwest corner. Some of the maybe Latona down into the Smallwood area. I know some of these spots popping up might be considered townships on here, so kind of doing the best with the minimal coverage that's in that region, but definitely Newton area wants to be ready for any sort of action there as far as the wind is concerned. That is your main concern, even though there could be some rotation in that. It is definitely the 70-mile-an-hour gusts. That is what you want to pretty much prepare for. We are going to send it back over to you, Kevin. What you got?
All right, very good. Yeah, so we're going to go over to Jacob here in just a second as well. So Jacob is on that storm down into Clay County. So Jacob, what are you seeing down there?
Kevin, more tree damage here as I'm heading towards the Clay City area. Clay City is coming up right in front of me here, so we're going to be rolling into town. It looks like there are some power outages here in the area. I have not seen any power lines down. The other thing is there's a lot of water on the road. These are torrential rainfall producers. So the one thing that sticks out to me is storms that are forming ahead of this line moving to the east, more towards the Olney area, lifting to the north. To me, that might be an indication that we could see a little nudge from the storm helping advance some rotation. So that's a bit concerning for me here. It looks like we're rolling into Clay City, and lots of folks have no power here in town now. Oh, wow. Water flying up there. We're kind of a construction zone trying to navigate our way through, and there's a lot of water in this part here. So yeah, no power here in the Clay City area. I'm going to navigate my way through here a little bit more. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to you guys here as we're rolling into Clay City now.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jacob. Appreciate it there with the report. We'll continue to check in with you here over the next few minutes as he's coming in to Clay City, where, again, that tornado probably was really close to the area. Can you switch back to Max 2 over here?
Yes.
So Clay City right now seeing the really heavy rain to the north of that. Again, so if you are over in the Olney area, you want to be taking shelter anywhere there along Highway 50 where that rotation continues to show up. Still pretty intense storm there. So again, that is technically just kind of south of our area. Then you get up here and severe thunderstorm warning continues for Effingham County and now into Jasper County there where Newton is located. If you're in Willow Hill, you're going to find a pretty little storm. Rose Hill, potential there for some damaging winds for sure. Some really strong winds. This is kind of turning into big wind damage event with maybe what we call the little spin up QLCS tornadoes. Again, definitely looked pretty intense a little bit earlier, but still decent rotation is kind of showing up and maybe trying to develop just a little bit more to the south of Noble, but going to be close to the Noble and Olney area is where our rotation is with our tornado warning storm down here into Clay County. Again, just kind of keeping you guys up to date. Those of you that are watching us here, just trying to let everybody know kind of what's going on here on this Sunday of this Memorial Day weekend, where it looks like Jacob's coming into. I see a lot of there's a lot of tree leaves. Looks like they're on the ground. We're just kind of passing through where some of that wooded area is. So again, his location down there. He is in Clay City, east of Clay City now, and going to be heading towards Noble, where we think, again, if we look back, rotation from a possible tornado would have passed really close and through Clay City, and there was maybe even a possible debris signature there. That could have just been leaves or some small branches or whatnot, but possibly a circulation that would have passed through Clay City. And now it's kind of moving off there to the east of Noble. And so that's Jacob Shot that's down there. So we'll see if we get any other reports that come into us. Looks like they had 1-inch hail in Louisville when the storm came through. Several trees were blown down and power is out in the area of at the Flora Municipal Airport. So wind damage in Flora, numerous trees, including one that fell into a camper at Charlie Brown Park. No injuries were reported. Again, that was in Flora. Thunderstorm wind damage several trees down. Flora. So it looks like Flora got hit pretty good. And again, we're just kind of looking at Jacob's. Are those branches alongside? I can't even. I can't quite tell. It seems like it's raining so hard there. We'll let Jacob talk to us. Jacob, are those branches alongside the road?
Yeah, Kevin, there's been a few branches, things like that. I think the big thing is more leaves and small branches that we've seen. We're past Clay City now. We're crossing the Little Wabash River. This whole area is pretty forested, so it doesn't take much of the wind to come through like a fine-tooth comb and brush out some of those leaves and limbs and sticks all over. I haven't seen anything major. Of course, I'm on one road. If there's certain areas with more damage, from where I was driving on 50, it looked like a lot of the lights were on in Flora, but power was pretty much out in Clay City. So perhaps maybe one side of town had a little more, or another here. We continue to see some power outages and whatnot, passing homes and whatnot. No lights on inside. You can see the solar lights and the emergency lights, and that's it. But pretty much, yeah, more limbs and stuff kind of in this area as we're moving our way off to the east. Looks like we're about to cross the county line, so halfway between Clay City and Noble here. The rain has let up a little. The storm's moving so fast, it's going to be hard for me to keep up with it at this point. So we're just kind of on damage patrol now to see if there's any areas. I would suspect, maybe more interesting to me now, is going to be south of 50, south of Noble, south of Olney, where that circulation is. At some point, that circulation had to jump across as it's been slid to the south and east. And that, I think, happened about where we were. So we'll see if we get any more damage coming up here, see any more damage of substance and things like that. But for the most part, it is looking okay. But again, my window to what's going on down here, much smaller. I'm sure we've got some folks online that are commenting or letting us know, hey, they got no power, things like that. And we're really lucky, too, that this is primarily staying south of our immediate viewing area. With the intensity of that wind, it's not going to surprise me that somewhere there's going to be some pretty substantial infrastructure damage to the power grid. I mean, there are some of those gusts, Kevin, and that circulation is going right next to me. It's been a while since I've been in some wind like that, Kevin. So with that, that's my report here. We'll get to Noble here in a little bit, and we'll check back in with them. In the Storm Tracker, I'm Jacob Dickey. Back to you.
Thank you, Jacob. Appreciate it. So again, his report down there. They did release the tornado warning. There's no longer a tornado warning on that storm there, Jacob. So just for your information, looks like the rotation is weakened a little bit. So they actually let the tornado warning expire, no longer in effect for Clay and Richland County. Still, that whole area has severe thunderstorm warnings all along it. And we can kind of see, so, you know, right? They did cancel that.
That's what it said on here. I think it
Okay.
might have to play out till 8:15 or whatever it was released for.
Technically, we'll stay on the radar here till 8:15, but they did.
And Effingham is now without a warning, too, as it's passed on east into Jasper.
So Effingham, too, has seen that storm kind of move off there. Still maybe coming down pretty good there near Diedrich and Lucas. But severe thunderstorm warnings continue here now into Jasper County there. Newton, going to find a pretty good little storm. And then again, we're still kind of just watching these storms here. Let's kind of look at the wider view because there may be people saying, what about up here? Well, Champaign, you're good. Decatur, Springfield, you're good. Not seeing much up your way. I think that for tonight. This is really, again, we kind of said it all along. This is probably going to be kind of a southern part of our viewing area, just kind of clipping it and probably just south of us. Again, the way that kind of the television markets work, you've got Terre Haute, you've got St. Louis, and you've got Evansville, and they all kind of cover this area here south of I-70. And our viewing area, or what we kind of cover, stretches here down to Effingham County pretty much. And so we kind of cover up here. But we know we have folks that are at least close by in this area, and sometimes can't always get, you know, proper coverage because they're sometimes in no man's land. They're pretty far from St. Louis. They're pretty far from Evansville, and even some parts they're, you know, far from Terre Haute. So we like to try to just provide what we can in this instance where there's some pretty intense weather that obviously just rolled through. And I bet from what I could tell on radar there, we probably had some kind of circulation there, possible tornado down into Clay County, maybe Flora, maybe Clay City. Again, several reports of tree and power line damage down that way. So wouldn't be surprised if that indeed was the case when the storm came through. What we can do is I'm just gonna kind of back the radar up a little bit and kind of show you what it did look like when that storm was coming in. So this was the classic, we call kind of a little bit of a nub kind of sticking out right there. And so you usually get a tornado right about in there. And so we had some really strong winds, and it really intensified right here just west of Flora along Highway 50, kind of came through Flora and then into Clay City still with that rotation. And so that's what we were kind of looking at there, and we'll show it to you. We can back up again on the radar view for the rotation of this storm. I think it went back a little bit too far, but there it was coming in there, and you can kind of see right here where we had some of that rotation on it. Passed off here to the east, got maybe a little bit stronger, and then again kind of rode right there along Highway 50 into Flora. Really strong winds, if nothing else, where those blue colors are. And then kind of rolled into Clay City. Again, really strong winds there as well. So that's what it looked like a little bit earlier. Now the view from our radar picture shows the worst of the storm heading through the Olney area now. And is that Jacob over there waving?
A
Okay. Looks like is he going to be coming into Olney now, I'm guessing? No, he's not. He's not.
Does not look like it.
Okay.
He was.
Oh, he was in Noble there.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So that storm down there again, from our viewing area perspective, the storms are just out of technically our viewing area. I mean, it's storming pretty good there in Clark County, Casey, and Marshall right now. A few little cells there and down towards good old Moonshine. But we get down here into portions of Jasper and Richland County, and you've got a pretty good storm there over Newton, Dundas, Olney.
Jacob says he's going west now from Noble.
Okay, so he's going back west. So I bet Jacob's going to go see if he can find any damage down that way as that storm. It almost kind of ran right there along Highway 50, right? I mean, it went from Xenia to Flora to Clay City. That kind of was the hot spot, was between Xenia, Flora, and Clay City. And where Jacob was on that storm, I mean, he was right about here when that storm came through. That was his location. That tornadic circulation kind of went right through here. So I'm sure he's going to go follow back through there again. We heard some reports from the Weather Service talking about some damage there at a campground, I believe is what it was. A lot of trees blown down, power out in the area. But one fell into a camper at the Charlie Brown Park, but no injuries in Flora, which is some good news. See here, the Charlie, I'm not familiar with the Charlie Brown Park down there, but it looks like, as I kind of pull it up there on the map, that's going to be kind of on the far west side of town, almost just kind of outside of town there. But right between Xenia and Flora. So on the west side of Flora at the Charlie Brown Park, a tree was on a camper over there when the storms came through. Seth, I'm hoping that we can be rid of this stuff soon and be done with the severe weather threat here tonight. If we were, 100 miles to the south, it'd be a long night down there into Kentucky and far southern Illinois.
Yeah, things would definitely be a lot trickier down that way. Of course, whoever's seeing this stuff now is kind of getting already more than they would want, I'm sure. But yeah, this stuff down south is pretty nasty. We've had
look at that storm coming in down near Owensboro, Kentucky.
Yeah, these are some pretty nasty storms. Had a pretty bad looking one near Goreville earlier too. I remember when we kind of first saw that one out ahead of everything. That one looked pretty. Even got a picture of what looked like a funnel cloud. Looked pretty good there for a little bit.
How about that radar signature on the confirmed?
Oh boy, yep. That's
confirmed tornado. And this is way south of our area. This is going to be in far southern Kentucky there between Paducah, Owensboro, and Bowling Green. But yeah, bad situation down that way. But hopefully we're going to be done here soon, Seth. Can you?
Certainly looks like that. Yeah, we kind of timed things out today, mainly from we kind of thought maybe we'd see something in the afternoon, kind of wait until about 4 or 5 for much to bubble up. And then from there on, we knew there'd be this round this evening. Kind of thought and had hope it might be out of here by about 9 o'clock. And we're only 40 minutes away from that. So we are getting pretty close to that window where the severe threat is going to pretty much die off here before too terribly long. And in which case, yeah, we should be pretty good for the remainder of the evening once we kind of get into that time frame here. Just kind of pulling up things on my end here on the radar. Again, here's your storms right now, currently centered over Jasper and Richland County. Those are kind of moving their way on east, still moving with some pretty good speed. In fact, last check here, these things are moving off to the east at 60 miles an hour, so going highway speed. So they will be pretty intense while they're here, but they should pass on through pretty darn quickly here, and eventually it'll be a problem in Crawford County and maybe just the southern part of Clark County there temporarily. But strong winds, there's the kind of the name of the game here at the moment. And I just saw some more tornado warnings just pop up down there in southern Illinois, and look how downstream those warnings are. We got some really deep warnings, and kind of gets to that point sometimes with these linear storm events where you just see enough, circulation going on there. They just sometimes warn the whole thing out of an abundance of caution just to make sure people are prepared well out in advance of that. So, and even though things are manageable here at home, it could be so much worse if we were down there to the south. And that's kind of why we talked about the system in the tone that we did, because we knew we were going to have someone was going to have a pretty ripe environment to just see some powerful storms and take advantage of it. And lucky for us, we were just barely on the edge of that where we got something, but it wasn't anything too out of control. But this stuff down there, yeah, that would be a headache to have to navigate through all that stuff. Just lots of storms running into each other and tornado warning after tornado warning.
So I pulled up the radar. This is going to be down in Kentucky, but I just want to show it. They actually have a tornado emergency that was issued down there. These emergencies are ones that, they reserve for the worst of the worst. And this was down near Crider, it looks like there. And this is it's a debris bowl. It's essentially debris lifted by the tornado there. And that thing went right through and is producing, again, damage across the region. And so you can see there it is. Look at just watch the loop of that. And so again, this is well south of our area, but a tornado emergency on the storm northwest of Princeton, Kentucky is where that is. And so dangerous situation down that way between Crider and Princeton. Again, could have been far worse for us here, but the worst of it definitely is to our south, where the tornado warnings are ongoing and will be ongoing for much of Kentucky. Jacob's waving to us, so that's always the cue to send it back over to him. So let's do that now and see what he has. Jacob.
Yeah, hey, Kevin. Just coming to Clay City now. Wanted to let you know that coming in on the east side of town, much of this area is out of power. The town's in front of me here, and there's no lights. I'm seeing a few yard lights at this point, but we're going to come into the north side, got off of 50, and I'll come into the north side of Clay City, then cut down and see if we see anything here. So that'll be something to kind of see what's going on. After this, and I'm going to head to that park too, kind of see if we can't see what's going on in Flora, but I want to take a drive through town here and see if we could spot any sort of damage. Most of what I've seen so far has been limbs, fairly large tree branches, but I haven't seen anything more substantial or widespread. I'm hoping I'm keeping it that way based on what's been happening down to the south there. The other thing, the lightning has been really impressive with this. There's been some really good lightning strikes, even to my west, in the backside and all around me as these storms come on through. So we're going to kind of snake our way through town here, just kind of let you know what's going on in the Clay City area. Power is out, but from so far, I haven't seen, first responders. I haven't seen any major damage. So hopefully we can keep it that way, but still pretty early on here. So we'll see if we aren't able to find something. If so, I'll flag you down. In the meantime, coming into the east side of Clay City here now, I'm Jacob Dickey, Kevin. I think I'll go ahead and send it back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Jacob. Appreciate it. So there he is. Again, looking pretty dark down that way. Again, between Flora to Clay City is definitely where they had some of those damage reports coming into us here as that storm passed through. You can see on the radar largely, boy, not much going on for places up near I-72. And we thought all along that would be the case. The storms we had this morning stayed below severe limits as well. So again, we dodged that proverbial bullet again with severe weather, at least through kind of the heart of our area. I mean, it has been all around us over the past month, it seems like. Unfortunately, here, we've not seen as much. Now, again, you're down there between Florida and Clay City. Storming pretty good down that way. And again, tornado warnings continue now south of Vincennes and into Indiana. And now Patoka, Indiana, Albion, Illinois. Tornado warnings continue. Again, this is way south of our area here. And just kind of give you an idea. There's Robinson, of course, that had the EF3 tornado from last March. That area, again, about to see some storms. Not seeing rotation on it. Again, it looks like Jacob is coming into downtown there. It's looking kind of dark down there. I'm going to just pop up his camera. Looking kind of dark in the downtown area there. I don't see much in the way of lights there where he is rolling through.
Just want to relay something here, Kevin.
Yeah, go ahead.
Clay County emergency manager said there was a large tree on a house with power lines down in the south end of Flora, corner of Austin and Adams. Person trapped inside, but no injuries right now. So sounds like there's a situation with a tree on top of a house and maybe some power lines involved. So hopefully they can get that resolved here pretty soon. But not surprising with the winds to have both trees and power lines come crashing down there. So again, that was in Flora on the corner of Austin and Adams.
Yeah. So when I pulled up the outage map for down there, and I'm going to punch it up for you. It looks like that's definitely kind of quite a bit of power outage. So anytime you get this orange color, and look at all these little orange boxes that stretch all the way back here to the west. But we come here and we can click just west of Xenia. There's 519 customers without power. Flora showing 1,124. I mean, my goodness, how many people live in Flora? What's the population of Flora? That's got to be.
Let's find out real quick here, and we can.
Population of Flora is. It
is 1,600. So
1,600, and so 1,124 customers. That's customers. Are going to be two people in a house. Like
very well could be the whole town.
That could be the whole town there. So I'm sure Jacob's gonna making his way through there because he is in Clay City, I believe, right? He's still in Clay City, right? That's
Jacob said he sees power on the north side of 50 is what I just heard in my ear.
Okay.
So still a little bit. He's in Flora.
Is he in Flora or is he in Clay City right now?
I believe he's heading west on 52 to Flora from Clay City.
Okay, so he is going to be right here in this area here. So, okay. But again, yeah, it looks like quite a bit of tree and power line damage is going to be down that way. Okay. So that's kind of what we're looking at here in terms of the severe weather damage, the Flora area between Xenia and Flora. I definitely took kind of the brunt of it, and that's where we had that intense rotation showing up on the storm just a little bit ago. So we had some people. Maria says, thank you for covering Flora. We had strong winds and some branches down, but nothing really major. Again, you're good tonight if you're watching us and you're up in Danville and Champaign and Monticello and Decatur and Taylorville and Springfield and Gibson City and Watseka. Not seeing much, and I'm sure they're going to start kind of trimming back even that severe thunderstorm watch and tornado watch. Is that happening here?
Yeah, they just are starting to peel off a couple of those here right now. As you can see, it was as far west, I believe, as Shelby and Effingham as of just a couple minutes ago, but now they're starting to peel those back. I think it may have even been into Coles County, but we definitely going to see these drop, even though Edgar's still included in that. I don't think there's much of a concern up that direction, so that one shouldn't last too terribly long either. And the other 4 there probably just going to expire once the current storms in there kind of race east. So probably not looking at too much activity once we hit the 9 o'clock hour there. So looking like we might be able to just take care of some business here pretty early in the night and not have to worry about things too deep into the nighttime there. Very thankfully, again, of course, because same thing might not be able to be said for Southern Illinois and Western Kentucky here. The night might just be getting started for some folks out that direction.
Yeah, you can see all the warnings there across far southern Illinois, south of I-70, stretching all the way to the boot heel of Missouri, Poplar Bluff. Kentucky might be in for a long night. Far southern Indiana near Evansville. I've been watching those storms. Yeah, and that lone storm, you see how there's like a line of storms here, okay? So you've got, a squall line, and this is where you might have the embedded circulations. But this guy out here, look how this guy has got out what we call discrete. It was not attached to the main line here. It's out on its own. It can feed off of as much of the energy, all of the dynamics to have a really strong storm. These are the storms that we really worry about, and that's why there's confirmed tornadoes, tornado emergencies with that, because these are the ones. Whenever they're outside of a line like this, these are usually more intense and can cause way more of an issue. And so you can see how there's nothing else around it. So there's nothing else to kind of steal away its moisture, instability. It's got everything at play there when it is kind of out there. So that's what we mean by when we talk about a discrete cell, one out there ahead of the line. And now you can still have, severe storms and bad weather there along the squall line there. But those little individual cells, boy, those are the ones that you worry about. And that one now heading towards Madisonville, Kentucky, and Dawson Springs in that area. So again, that's obviously not even close to our viewing area, but just to kind of show you the extent of this severe weather outbreak that literally has been going on for days, but I feel like it's been weeks where the United States and the Midwest and Plains have seen severe weather.
That storm that was once in Richland County looks like it's got kind of second life to it. There's a new tornado warning for Lawrence County, so just barely dodged seeing that thing kind of race back up. But you can see exactly where that notch is starting to form. And the rotation doesn't look terrific on the velocity at the moment, but there's definitely something there to warrant that, especially as we're much closer to the radar than what we were earlier. But yeah, that is right there heading probably towards Lawrenceville. It looks like it's on a pretty decent trajectory there towards town.
Sometimes our radar is weird. That should say Lawrenceville. I don't know why it just says Lawrence, but sometimes the names get a little weird down there. So that is Lawrenceville. That is right down there. And yeah, that storm there is now bringing with it the potential for another tornado. And yeah, you can kind of see it there. That's your rotation right there. Okay. And so Bridgeport, Lawrenceville, if you've got friends or family that live down that way, they need to be in their tornado safe spot right now. That storm is coming right towards Bridgeport in the Lawrenceville area. And that little nub is what we call it there. Kind of sticks out a little bit. And right here is where we would have that tornado. Lawrenceville on the far right side of your screen here. And so this thing is going to continue to go right off here to the east. And so when we look at it again, that is Lawrence County. And then just on the other side there into Indiana is Vincennes. So that's going to be right there along Highway 50. This storm has kind of been riding Highway 50 there, at least on either side of it for the last several hours as it kind of moved across the state. And so now there's that tornado warning down that way. Again, well out of our viewing area, but just kind of giving the heads up to any folks that may still be kind of watching us down that way or may have some friends and whatnot and family as well. Let's check back in with Jacob. almost his view is kind of coming in and out, but he's coming into, I think he's coming back into Flora. So, Jacob, what are you seeing where you are right now?
Hey, Kevin, it's one of your favorite things in the world, the big old water tower.
Yes.
We are on the...
Yes, indeed. Love the water towers.
Yes. We are on the east side of town, coming on in the industrial park has power. It looks like when I drove by earlier, the north side where the Walmart is, there's some fast food restaurants, things of that has power. So I'm guessing the power outages are probably the south and west side of town. I just passed the airport. Didn't see much going on there. Looks like, I don't think that's anything that's there. There's some sort of caution tape in there, but I think that was just from a construction site next to it. So we're about 2 minutes away from that scene where there's a strand of house. And so we'll head that way, and then we're going to go look at the park as well, the Charlie Brown Park, whatever that was, the RV park, to see if that RV trailer that might have had to drain after what was going on there. So, yeah, maybe part of town got more of the wind than other part of town. And now, the east side and the north side seem to be pretty good with the lights on, the industrial park, kind of the commercial strip up there. We'll see if that holds true. I'm about to cut more into town. Flora is kind of a long town, I guess you could say. It's pretty stretched out north of the railroad tracks, along 50 there from east-west. And then there's a big section of it that sits south of the railroad tracks, kind of about a half mile wide or so. And so I'm guessing that's probably where most of this damage or most of those power outages are. That's where this map has taken me to try and investigate where that house is. So we'll probably be coming out to downtown here in a little bit, and then jut south from there. And at about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, we should be rolling here in Flora. With that, looks like here where I'm at now, there's no lights on. There's just some houses next to me, and not seeing any lights on around me as well. So some folks are driving around. But I'll check back in here in a minute or two once I get into position, Kevin. I'll send it back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot. Yeah, it looked like that was near Austin Avenue and Adams Street. So that's going to be, and it's right across from the Clay County food pantry, as I believe is the corner of Austin and Adams. So I think that's where he's going. That's on the far south side of town there. Is where that possible tree was there at Adams and Austin Avenue. So we'll see if Jacob can find that as he is maneuvering his way down there. We'll continue to check back in here with him. In the meantime, here's that tornado warning storm that is now coming into Bridgeport and Lawrence. Definitely finding that tornado warned area where there might still be a tornado down on that location. So definitely be careful. Or if you know anybody down there into Lawrence County where the tornado warning continues. As far as the rest of us, you're 95% of our viewing area in the clear. We'll still kind of hold on here to Clark County there towards far southeastern Clark County, south of Marshall Anderson. That's about it, because you get south of that and that's kind of technically out of our viewing area now. But what we're doing here is just providing some additional coverage as that storm kind of came through down here near Flora. Jacob is down there in the StormTracker, so we'll check in with him as he is coming upon possibly some of the damage that way. But there's still a pretty decent possible threat there for a tornado into Lawrence County, Illinois at this present time. Again, some reports of power lines and trees down there. A lot of power outages there, according to Ameren, on the Ameren website there, showing that. And let me pull up. I'm going to pull up another map that talks about power outages, and it kind of will tell the picture a little bit more. So let me go ahead and pull that up for you. So I'm going to show you first off the country. And this kind of shows you just how bad things have been here over the last several days. We've had storms in Kansas, of course, last night, Missouri, and Arkansas got rocked and Missouri again today. There's 90,000 customers in Missouri. There's almost 73,000 customers without power. And then Kentucky right now, bad situation. They've got 144,000 without power. Now here in Illinois, there's 38,000. What we can do is click on that and just go to the individual state now, and it kind of shows you the counties. And right now, Clay County has got 1,100 without power. Marion County just to the west, 8,000 in Marion County, where the circulation was best earlier as that storm came through, where I think there probably was, at the very least, a tornado or some wind damage there as well. Okay, I'm coming up. Jacob's coming up on something, so I'm going to pull his shot up there. Is that a tree on a car there? Or I'm not really sure. Okay, so he's in Florida there. I'm going to go ahead and pull his audio up there and see. Is it a tree on the car there, Jacob? What do we got?
I'm trying to figure that out myself, Kevin. I don't know if somebody was trying to drive around it or what was going on. The officer's here. He's in his car. The power lines here, I don't know if you can see the wires at all. They're definitely loose. So there's some power damage and some with that tree that's down right here next to him. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. What I am going to do is there's a road behind me, so I'm going to reposition back around. This intersection right here is Austin and Adams. So that's kind of what we're dealing with. So it's kind of got a car coming around me here. Let's see. I don't know what he's doing. So yeah, okay. I'm gonna reposition. Go to the other side. See if I can see. Was that somebody trapped in a house or somebody trapped in a car? That's my next question.
Yeah. Well, the report, Jacob, was that the report that came in was on the house right there at Austin and Adams, exactly where you are. Was the report of the tree on the house, but I mean, that looks like a car there that seemingly was, yeah, I mean, boy, you got a lot of branches down that area as well. But the report was numerous trees blown down, including one that fell on. Well, no, that was the Charlie Brown one. Where's the?
It was from the Doug Spitzner. It was one of the EM ones.
Oh, the EM ones. Yeah. Yeah, large tree on a house with power lines down in south end of Florida, corner of Austin Adams. Person trapped inside, no injuries. So they said house. I don't know. Maybe maybe the tree fell there. There was a car there as well. Hard to tell, but I'm just going to let Jacob kind of go where he needs to go there. Be careful those power lines and trees down. You can see the big limbs and whatnot. Is that a mattress? Or I'm not really sure there. Is that a power line in the middle? Or I can't tell. I can't really tell. Wow. Ugh, a lot of little limbs there. Let's hope the StormTracker tires make it through here tonight. Yeah, just have to be careful those power lines down that way. So we are walking. You can see more of those trees down. So Florida got hit pretty good there on the south side. Again, Jacob is just showing us, and it's really dark down in that area now as the storms have passed through. Again, you're looking at Clay County on the south side of Florida, where some of that damage was located. Is that a power line right there? That looks like a power line. Yep, that's a power line right there. So obviously, yeah. So Jacob's going to have to turn around, I think. So you can see the line that comes right across there. So, and then more of the police. Okay, yeah, so there's the view of that car there, Jacob. I'm going to pull your audio up now. And, oh, your audio is up. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, hey, how are we doing? Yeah. So I don't know what happened there. The tree does not look like it's on that car. I think they were trying to turn around, and I don't think they did a good job. I don't know that for sure, though, because the tree is more to the side of them where that cop was. I think they were trying to turn around is what's going on. There's definitely been power line down here, too. You can kind of see the line in front of me in the corner here. This is at going to be Fairview in Austin, a block south of that. And the other thing, I kind of had to, it took me a little longer. I kind of had to, this has the road network. Here. Let's hang on a second. So I kind of had to sneak my way through because there were some trees down and whatnot. So, yeah, I got a truck coming up behind me here. I'm going to kind of move to go back to that RV park. And then we will sneak that way and report back to you guys. So with that, I'll catch you guys soon.
Okay, thanks for that, Jacob. We will let you reposition, get where you need to go there, and check back in here with you. You're going to check out maybe that RV park over that way. So again, guys, probably soon to be wrapping up our coverage here in just a little bit. But while Jacob is down that way, we will continue to see any reports. We'll come back into the storm here that's now coming into Lawrenceville and eventually into Indiana now, where the tornado warning continues down that way with our storm that we've been watching. It's been a prolific wind producer there. It looks like it has weakened a little bit over Lawrenceville, so that's some good news, man. So that'll pass off into Indiana. But again, so we got our newscast is coming up here at 9 o'clock on the X. Of course, 10 o'clock newscast as well. It's going to be here in just a little bit. But obviously, we've had some damage just kind of south of our area. You saw some of the power lines that were down where Jacob was, a lot of tree limbs and branches that were down that way. And again, he is heading more to the west side of town of Flora, I think now to that RV park where there are reports of that tree on a camper that was down that way. So it has been a busy night for some again, but largely our viewing area has missed out on this severe weather here. We got super lucky. We've been so lucky over the past month here, where a lot of the storms have been north of us and they have been south of us here. Let me just kind of pull up some of the storm reports. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take off the any of the rain, just so you can kind of get an idea here. I'll take off heavy rain reports. We don't need those. So notice all of the storm reports, okay?
Wow.
And how they are all largely not in our area that we cover per se. Here in central Illinois, you can kind of see our county area that we cover, and look at that, no storm reports. There's maybe one down there towards Macoupin County, and then you get just south, and boom, all kinds of storm reports. I mean, look at that. And again, and these are just over the last 12 hours. Let me see. I wonder if I can go even more. I do 36. I'll say there's 36 hours storm reports. And you can see how Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, but just look how we largely missed out on this. There were even some storm reports up in Wisconsin and Michigan, but we got really lucky here again in central Illinois. Now, again, just out of our viewing areas, I mean, St. Louis and some of our southern friends down there definitely have had quite the storminess back into Missouri. Look at all the tornado reports back there to the west. And if we go through and just, let's see here. Let me see if I can remove the hail reports. Just give me a second. Hail. Okay, so now you're looking at wind and tornadoes. Look at all those tornadoes across Oklahoma into Arkansas. Rogers, Arkansas got hit pretty bad. Into Missouri here today, and then now into far southern Illinois, and now into Kentucky. So those are all of the various storm reports. So we definitely dodged that bullet here as things are beginning to calm down. Here's the latest on what is left of those warning or watches there, and they're continuing to trim those away.
Yeah, I don't know if we've made any progress in the last 20 or 25 minutes, but I would have to think now that those warned storms are out of the area that there shouldn't be too much need for those to stick around. So unofficially, they still go. The tornado watch till 1 a.m. and the severe thunderstorm watch until 11 p.m. But I would have to think within the next 30 or 45 minutes, those are probably going to be wiped off the board here.
All right, very good. So we'll just we'll see if Jacob can make it over there to the west side of town before we got to go offline here, because we got the 9 o'clock newscasts that Seth is getting ready for. And again, the storm's largely kind of heading out of our area now. Still actually storming pretty good down there in the southern portions of Clark County. You guys have a decent storm there, but that is kind of moving out as well. And so I think Jacob just went through the downtown area of Flora. Again, Flora is rather spread out there, just kind of looking at that on the map there. It's north to south, west to east. It's really kind of stretched out there. So he's going to be coming there on the west side of town and going to that Charlie Brown Park. And
He says ETA 8:55.
8:55. All right, so we'll try to stick with it here and catch some of his last images because he's down there. So at the very least, he may get some video for us. But again, this just for those of you that are watching here, it's a good time for me to kind of talk about a couple things. Can you bring up on 6 cam 1 there for me?
There you go.
All right, perfect. So again, this is kind of a good time to talk about a couple of things here. First off, weather call. And it doesn't matter where you are, you could have gotten a phone call from us if you were in any of the warnings today. Severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings, we actually can call you. Okay, it's different from the weather radio. It's different from having, or wanting the outdoor warning sirens or an app. If you actually want a phone call from us, you can sign up for that. Okay, it's a small yearly fee, very small. Okay, it's like less than $1 a month, and we literally will call your phone, not just your cell phone. If you want it to be your home phone, and yes, some people still have a landline phone out there. That's still a thing. Kids, I know you don't know what that is, but your grandparents may still have one. But landline phones, and we can call them for you, and you'll get a message from us. Hey, there's a tornado warning in your area. Take shelter, and you get updates on that. So that's this service right here. You can go to our website. You can scan the QR code there, or go to WCIA.com, search for WCIA Weather Call, and we will actually call you guys up. And let's see here. I think I may even have another little fun little thing. You can sign up there. There's the QR code that is on your screen there as well. There's a lot of different ways I want you to do that. Or the other thing we like to tell you to do is download our weather app. If you don't have the weather app, you can definitely download that and stay informed. It's also, you can watch our streaming coverage. So some of you are watching on Facebook. We've got Twitter, there's YouTube, there's, our website, but also the app as well. So if you scan that code right there, then you might be able to download the app. And then you've got our forecast videos. It gives you a lot more than just the basic stock kind of weather app on your phone. So encourage you to check that out and download our app as well before the next storm arrives. And we know that there will probably be more. I will tell you this, when you watch Seth's forecast, I think he has much calmer forecast in there for us going forward. Hopefully here as we wrap up the month of May. So tune in at 9 o'clock and we will have that. Again, so Jacob is coming in just a couple minutes away, and I'm going to show you again for those of you that are watching where Jacob is. So here we are.
1 minute out now, he says.
1 minute out. So he is well south of our area here that we technically kind of cover, but down this way into Clay County. We've had a lot of people say, hey, thank you for covering Clay, Richland, Lawrence County on the chat. So we're happy to do that here. But it looks like it's still raining, some moderate rain that's down that way. So Jacob is coming in down here to Flora and going to be coming in there to the west side of town and checking out potentially an RV park. Now, we lost his signal there. Hopefully he can gain that back for us. But he's coming there on the west side of town. There it is. The shot just came back up. So he's over at this Charlie Brown Park where potentially there was a tree on top of a camper over that way. So we're going to check back in with him here as he is coming in. I'm seeing a lot of little branches and whatnot there on his screen as he's rolling through, and a lot of little tree limbs down. I'll just go and punch up a shot there. And of course, as soon as I do, it freezes on us. So he's kind of getting there. You can see more of those little branches, trees. A lot of wind came through down that way. Again, thousands of customers are without power down there right now, especially into Clay and Marion, Wayne counties, even parts of Jasper. Effingham's got 532 customers out, 1,500 in Fayette County. So Jacob is there I think he's in the park now. He's there in the Charlie Brown Park, which actually has several little roads and little areas he can act. It looks like a little trash can blown over down that way. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. A lot of limbs down, probably quite a few trees there, that campground RV park area. And so again, the report was possibly a tree that was on one of the campers there, but fortunately no injuries. So Jacob's trying to find that. So again, we're about 4 minutes away from our newscast here at 9 o'clock. And so you guys want to tune in there on the X, so because what we'll probably have to do is end our live stream on here. But if you tune in to WCIX or at 10 o'clock, possibly a report from Jacob again on what he did see down that way in Clay County. Looks like he's turning in here. I see some, is that it right there? Looks like a tree on a power line there. All right, I got you here for about another minute, Jacob. Go ahead.
Hey, Kevin. Yeah, it looks like part of this big tree came off here. This branch is down here on the side. There's another one on top here. It doesn't look like it's a major issue, but there is some damage to this RV park here. A lot of tree limbs and stuff down. So, yeah, it's kind of what we're looking at is this one little spot here. And I'm going to figure out how I can get around. But going to keep an eye on things for us here. Keep updated. So we'll have some reports from up this way. Doesn't seem like anything too major, but yeah, this is that park there. So this is kind of what's going on. Some other tree damage. Probably not going to stick around too much. It didn't seem like anything major. There's a big tree down right there, though, so you can see that. So definitely some damage in these areas. So with that, I will send it back to you guys. I'll probably go back into town here for the newscast coming up. So with that, I'll catch you guys later.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jake. Appreciate it. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to wrap up our coverage here that we've been with you online on the stream. Thanks everybody who joined us here. We've got to get ready. The newscast is coming up here in just a few minutes. WCIX or at 10 o'clock on WCIA. Again, guys, hope everybody stayed safe out there. Thanks for joining our live coverage as you've grown accustomed to knowing how we kind of deliver the weather to you here. Just real quickly, again, things are much calmer now as storms are exiting the area. We're going to be pretty much done with that here in the next hour or so. All the rain should start to clear. Seth's on more at 9, more at 10. For Seth and Jacob, I'm Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty. Stay safe out there and have a good rest of your Memorial Day weekend.